Hi. And Nicole's sweet face. Sup?
Okay.
Anne Marie's laughing at me.
I saw the new calendar.
Well, I haven't seen you guys in a while.
I haven't played around a lot on that, but the calendar, I knew that was a big one, so.
Oh, Anne
It's
Marie,
been way too long.
yes, it has.
I'll be there on Thursday.
Oh, yay. Oh, perfect. That means I should be here too, so I can see you. And Anna Marie, you were speaking, but you're muted, so I couldn't hear you. But
Oh, I said I thought I missed out last week, but I found out you guys didn't have anything. So I was like, what, they changed the Zoom?
well, yeah, it was weird. So the internet was down, but then my hotspot wouldn't even connect to the computer. So it was, yeah, there was no option. And then we sent out just through the text that it was canceled. But I think I sent an email yesterday to make sure everybody had that number. And then we're gonna mainly keep that for like stuff that cancels an event. So you're not getting the text every moment of the day. So, time is.
Did you receive the text, Anna Marie?
Nope.
I'm gonna be the text.
I mean, I
person.
probably did, to be honest. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
you guys didn't, but I get so many, and if I don't like right on the way out, it's like down the line and
Yeah.
looking at it later.
Well, I'm gonna audit the text thing and then, should be emails and text too, and there's weird cancellation doohickeys. So, but I'll kind of make sure everybody's numbers in there.
All right,
Cool.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
So I'll just start by saying hello, everyone, and sorry about last week. Hi. Yeah, we unfortunately had problems with our internet and our hotspot, so we couldn't get on. So I apologize. We did send out a text, but we're going to get better at that. So make sure you look at your texts and everything. We're going to start out with Sharon Crockett. You're okay to come up and talk with Prime Lending. She's going to talk about a couple of things. And then today we're going to speak about a great clinic that's coming up with Tony Robbins, who's going to be our keynote speaker at Family Reunion. And I would strongly suggest, he's running a free clinic on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. Free clinic with Tony Robbins, and it's about starting out your new year, new goals, financials, all that. Really exciting. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. If you have the opportunity to get in on this free clinic, I would strongly suggest it. It's 3 hours, 25th, 26th, 27th. We'll talk about it a bit later. And then Ashley's going to speak to our vendor program, our new vendor program. We're really, really excited about it. So here you go.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going? All right, well, we have scripts on Thursday, so super excited about that. We're basically going to talk about all things scripts, depending on, what situation, whether it's a new buyer that, what's that? Oh.
Whoa, what is happening? This is fun. Well, I don't know why.
Oh, are you looking for that flyer?
Well, that slide just shouldn't even be there.
Oh, okay. Anyway, for scripts on Thursday, we're gonna take each situation. We're gonna take a first-time home buyer script. We're gonna take a sign call script. We're gonna take a internet script. We're gonna take a seasoned buyer, a second move up buyer, an investor. We're gonna talk about every single situation. Because every buyer is coming from a different psychological place, right? And it's all up here of what they're wanting. And you don't always know what they're needing when you first pick up that phone. So we're gonna do some role play and have some fun with that. And just get comfortable with bringing people, I call it the funnel. So when you first talk to someone, the funnel's this wide. And by the time you get done with that conversation, you should have them here, where you at least know where they want to be and where they're going and what their questions are. Because I think too often when you don't know what to say, some of those opportunities get missed. So we're going to talk about that.
I will share now. I didn't want to distract people from things.
So be there on Thursday. We're going to have a lunch. So 12 to 1 is what we have, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's mandatory for everybody that is getting leads from Boomtown. This is what you committed to and you signed the agreement with us. So it is mandatory that you're here if you are receiving leads.
Yeah, and we'll obviously touch on Boomtown as well.
So, because that's a different kind of
Yeah.
a lead. All right. Okay, so we have a brand new program we are launching. It's called the Seller's Advantage. Now, before I get into the details, this is not gonna work for every seller. It's not gonna work for every neighborhood. All it is two things. It's a conversation piece to have with a seller, and it's a possible, opportunity to get buyers quicker to your sellers' properties. We're gonna be launching this to the community. So if someone is thinking about selling, we're gonna be launching this to the general public. So, if, you know, hey, are you thinking about selling in 2024? Why not take advantage of this program? And basically what it is we are entering into an agreement with the seller for them to pre-build in 3 points on a concession to buy down and lock in a certain rate. So for example, you know, the house, maybe there's a listing coming up and they want to market a certain rate. So we would go in with them, talk about, it's based on a 20% down, 740 credit score. So depending on what the buyer comes with, it'll adjust, the pricing will adjust once the buyer comes. But basically we would advertise, you know, 5.5, 30-year fixed, already paid for by the seller. So they enter into an agreement with us. It's $1,000 and it's a 60-day lock. And that $1,000 gets applied to that 3% once it closes. So they can enter into an agreement. It's more for listings that are, you know, not on the market yet, so that you can pre-plan and go through the numbers with them. So you price it with that 3%, and it's 3% of the loan amount, not the purchase price. So if someone's putting 20% down, it's 3% on that, not the purchase price. So again, it's not going to be for everyone. But it is, you know, a lot of people are, you know, here's an example right here. So if the sales price was 400,000 and they offered a $9,600 seller concession, this rate obviously is not what it would be. This was when the rates were a little higher, because this would be much lower, because that's kind of where rates, well, now they're back up to 6.8 or so. So they are higher. Anyway, you can see if you discount the sales price versus discount the rate, the payment, obviously, we all know, we've been talking about this for a long time, the payments are gonna be lower when you pay for a concession versus a lower price. And that's what people are holding back from, is their payment. They want their payment to be X. And so if anything, it could drive traffic. And if it's, you know, if it works to get a buyer, then why not, right? So if you have a seller that's on the fence, they're thinking about selling this year, this would be, we're gonna send you guys the flyers. You can use this in your listing presentation to say, hey, we have a lender that we're partnering with that allows you to pre-plan and put forth 3% of your price. Let me show you the numbers on how that works, and you can go through that with them. And then explain how this could attract buyers by offering a pre-locked in rate. So, yeah.
That's gold.
Such a great.
Any questions on that?
Any Zoom questions?
Any questions on, did everyone hear that? About the seller's advantage? Yep, I got a thumbs up from Monica and Nicole. I love the thumbs up. Courtney. All right. So I'll get you guys the flyers for this, but this is a great tool to get out there and just send. I'm sure you guys all have your databases of people that are even people that have already bought that might be selling this year. You never know. Send it to everyone. Do a little video. Hey, happy 2024. Are you guys thinking about selling this year? Well, have I got a program for you? We can pre-lock in a rate with your listing agreement and show you the numbers on how this works so that you can attract buyers. So you can save a lot of different things, but yeah. So that's all I got for you for that.
That's really great because it's a different mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because you're approaching them, you know, when you're listing a home, to have that option for your buyers, right? That's fantastic. That's a whole, that opens up all of your,
Yeah.
you know, your sphere.
Well, and it's different than just offering the concession, because everyone can say $10,000, but this is specific to a rate. So we're offering this rate and it's locked in and you can advertise that.
Yeah.
So it's a one step further than just the concession. And again, if
More real.
exactly,
Yeah, exactly.
not all sellers are gonna need to do that. If it's a hot home priced right, it may not need to do that, but I mean, some of the homes are sitting, so why not get the attention out there.
Is there a certain set of like disclosure you need to put in the listing agreement if you are doing this? Like assuming somebody doesn't have
question.
credit?
Yeah, you're a loan officer. That's a compliance question. Yes, there will be a set of, disclosures and agreement that goes into it. So what we would do is if you had a seller that said, yes, we want to do this, we would enter into the agreement, they would pay their $1,000. We would figure out the rate and go through the materials and provide all the disclosures. There's not gonna be a lot. There would be some. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I've got. Any lending questions? Any other lending questions that you guys are struggling with or?
We're just all killing it. We know everything.
Yeah.
The rates of mortgage applications looking.
They dropped off. I was expecting it to get busy in January. We've got a lot of people kicking the tires, you know, and getting applications in, but then once they see their numbers and they go shopping, they either pause because of their payment or inventory because they're not finding the right house. So it's, but we did see an uptick in, phone calls, you know, just inquiries of people wanting to kick the tires on numbers. I thought it was gonna be crazy busy in January though, so I was a little disappointed. I just thought, you know, people are waiting for January, rates came down a little bit, kind of set us up for the new year, and then what are you guys seeing? Same?
Yeah. Yeah, like the end of December, there was like, I felt like a little like
Rush.
rush, like a house that had been sitting for 120 days, like all of a sudden 3 offers, and I was like, I
Yeah,
lost out on that, and now we can't find something else to replace it. and-
yeah, so you kind of felt like the momentum was building a little
Yeah,
bit? Yeah, that's how I felt too.
And then like,
Yeah.
a little false summit or something.
Yeah.
On January 1st, there was like 100 homes that fell off the market.
Yeah.
And very few of them have came back on.
Were those expired?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So they just didn't relist.
yeah,
Well,
very.
there's your list of people to call with this program.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all on the market for a reason, right?
And
Yeah.
with people not like seeing what they want, with the rehab loan, can you add a detached garage?
Yes, yeah, a shop, absolutely. Yeah, you can do a lot with those rehabs.
Yeah, I know, like adding a pool is nuts, and yeah, I just couldn't remember. You had a great class. Sharon does great classes with the little wine thing. you
Oh,
have
yeah,
coming.
three, oh, yeah.
But yeah, lots of rehab loan options.
Yes.
Yes.
I have 4 clock hour classes this year, one a quarter. The first one is February 21st at Martin Scott Winery.
We're
You guys
going.
got that?
There are no calendars.
Yeah, we're gonna do drawings for wine glasses and wine.
a wine.
What?
You got me a wine, I was like, I don't got.
Yeah, you got
And since I don't drink, you guys can fight for my drink ticket. So, you know.
We'll have
Yeah.
alternative, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, good stuff. Well, thanks guys for having me. There's no other questions. Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, stupid wrist things.
Takes a while. It does.
Yeah, big old bummer.
Alright, I'm gonna head out.
Okay. Good to see you.
Right, April.
Yes,
I will.
You want me to?
All right,
They're ready.
let's see. Let me make sure I'm not spot. You guys can see Tony's face, right? Tony.
Yes.
You can tell us something, I can tell. He's singing, so let's see this. No, yeah, well, harmony. Well, it wasn't very harmonious, but, so let's see if this works, because it's a little video from TikTok, so.
So we find ourselves in a time with economic uncertainty, inflation, and interest rates rising. So in the midst of these challenging times, when there's a brand new year like this, so if there's any chance for people to reset their mind, it's new year, new life. It's something about the calendar changing that gives people a chance to have a fresh start. And so I really want to help create some momentum for you in the new year. If you want to make 2024 your best year ever, I'm going to do a free event for 3 days, January 25th, 26th, and 27th. And it's called the Time to Rise Summit. No charge for it whatsoever. And what we're going to do is teach you the best strategies on how to get on the path to mastering your finances, mastering your career, your body, your relationships, and showing you the real strategies that actually work. Sign up right now. Again, no charge. TimeToRiseSummit.com. TimeToRiseSummit.com. I look forward to serving you then. And until then, live strong and live with passion.
So if you can, if you can get on, I would strongly suggest it.
I love how
Absolutely.
enthusiastic he is about his claps, like he
Oh, yeah.
really, his
Oh.
clapping is.
I went to one of his clinics in Arizona a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
and it claps like this.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's very
really touch his
distinct.
head.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a very-
I don't know, like it hurts after a while, like,
Yeah.
you know.
And he claps a lot.
It's a
Well,
very
he seems to be.
distinct.
It's hilarious. My daughter and I laughed the whole clinic. Like, he's not even clapping his hands. Yeah.
Do we have a Zoom question? I thought I heard a voice, a noise, somebody. No? Didn't being delusional. Okay.
Okay, our preferred vendor program, so excited about this program. I'm gonna have, since Ashley's in charge of it, I'm gonna have Ashley speak to it a little bit. You should all know about it, and she's gonna be reaching out to all of you for any specific vendors that you might recommend. And she'll reach out to them and she'll get them on board. But I'll let Ashley speak to it right now. You should all be aware of it. And also, we will be putting that, we'll be sending it out to all our agents, right? Both programs?
Yes, so this will be in the Roundup notes that I'll send up, so it'll kind of, show these screenshots of the different program. And essentially, it's a way for us to partner with vendors, plumbers, electricians, builders, all of the people. And, bring value to you guys. So there's different tiers to it. And, with each tier, these vendors are contributing to our office each month financially. And then in return, we're gonna get, lunch and learns and different trainings and materials and all of the benefits that these vendors are gonna offer. So there's a couple different tiers to it. So we have a preferred vendor program, and then we have an exclusive vendor program. So I'll go through the preferred one first. So there's different levels, bronze, silver, and gold. And this is something to where, I'd love to get names of the people you guys like. We already have Prime Lending as our exclusive mortgage lender. So I'll go a little bit more into exclusive in a moment. But with bronze, you're gonna have, packets of information you're gonna routinely get from these vendors. We're, working on getting stuff in the office, like a Hall of Fame. You'll be able to see who they are. They'll get announcements. You guys will just get a lot of value, especially with them invited to, Red Day. They'll be able to present at the office and just give you updates, kind of how Prime Lending does. So bronze level, they would contribute 150 a month. Silver is 250. And then gold level, that kind of brings it up to where they have more events. So, twice a month, monthly, kind of happy hour trainings, mastermind events. So it's just a way to get you guys more knowledge. So that one's 350 a month. And of course, with anybody that's interested, I'm working on sending out info to all of these, different vendors and, having some meetings and kind of seeing what would work to get you guys the most value. So the second tier of it is, as I mentioned, the exclusive vendor program. And with that one, what I'm going to do is get names from you guys of vendors that you appreciate and like and feel like are valuable. So I'm going to send out an email by the end of the month that's essentially going to invite them to fill out an application for the exclusive program. So what that would be is for anybody that, like let's say electrician, they'd be our exclusive vendor in that category. Then they, would contribute to the market center monthly, and then they would have all of this value that all it does is help you guys. Well, it's win-win for both of us. So with exclusive vendors, that email is going out at the end of the month to give people the opportunity to be the only vendor in that category first. And then, after that, then we would kind of work on the preferred vendor side of it. So as you can kind of see, there's a ton that they're gonna get, you guys are gonna get, wealth building seminars, social media stuff. They'll come to, Red Day, ads on our website, and you guys will just get continual knowledge. So I thought I had a second page of all the wonderful stuff that they get, but I didn't. So, yeah, that's something to where if you either want to put in the chat or text me or email me or who your people are, then I would love to kind of get it going. With the exclusive one, that's something where Lois and I would kind of meet with them first to talk about the program, because that one's a bit more in depth. So,
Yeah, so we're doing this program. It's kind of twofold. One is for our agents, right? Get additional information, but also to be able to upgrade and do some things within the office, but as well to support all of you to either to go to events. You know, so we want to bring in this money so that we can get as many people to family reunion as we can, you know, to mega camps if we can, out at different events that we'd like to participate in. Like, we want to be able to support you. So this is one of the ways that we can, and then upgrade to the office, right? I really want to get the window vision in there with all of our listings and all of our vendors in there, and that's part of the package as well. So there's a lot of really positive things to this, and I think we secured a vendor, exclusive vendor, a builder. We will know this week, but that's our first exclusive. So with exclusive, yes, as Ashley said, we're going to sit down and speak with them about the value in exclusive, because it is pretty pricey to be an exclusive vendor. So, and we're gonna have, it's my vision to have a wall of fame out there with the vendors, as Ashley said, with our vendors in there, our exclusive vendors, our preferred vendors, right? To really promote them. So does anybody have any questions on that right now and how that's gonna work? We're gonna get that out to you in the KW Roundup information. Any questions on that?
and do you guys know what window vision is? Have you heard of it? No, we have head shaking.
Like, do you wanna talk about it?
You're probably better, Bonnie. You know it better than I do,
It's
so.
kind of an electronic system, right? That you put in your window and you have all of your listings up there and people can come in and interact with it. So they can, if you're, let's say you're the listing agent, you can click on there, they'll find your number, they can look through the MLS right through the entire system. I mean, it's an interactive system. And it's a system from outside that, you know, somebody who's interested, let's say they just walk by our office, if they're interested in the listing, they click on the listing, but they can also click on the listing agent and they can, you know, type something in like, hey, would you give me a call? This is my number, right? So it's very interactive. It's very fun. And we're going to have, I think we're going to have somebody moving in over here. I'm not sure exactly. The credit union, I think, I believe. So we're gonna have like a little bit more interaction around the building. So it might be a fun
They
thing
have
to
those
do.
like really pretty like LED things like
Yes,
on the
go
whole
ahead.
windows.
Yes.
And, like that's part of window vision, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, LED. It's a beautiful
Very
system.
touching.
We can send information on it so you have a better idea of what it looks like, but it is interactive. It's all our listings will be up there. And people who walk by are coming to the office. The other advantage is, of course, I'm trying to get you all in the office and have some fun and interact and be educated. But if you do come in the office and you happen to be here and there's somebody out there looking, obviously it's easy to walk out there and go, hey, can I help you? You're looking at something, right? So it might be an advantage to be in the office as well. Just a little teaser for you. Anyway, next week, thank you for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. We are going to be discussing our new website. Go to KWNCW.com. New website is up. It's extraordinary. Ashley has done a great job with Scott Leroy in producing all the material. It is fantastic. Get everyone to go there and take a look at it. It's great. Our calendar's up there. Ashley's going to be speaking to the calendar next week. It's interactive. Everything's up to date for the next 3 months and we're updating all the time with courses that we're offering, everything. So go check it out. It's a really, really great website. Great way to promote KW if you have a moment.
And Anna Marie, the TV ads that part is talking about is separate than the window vision. It's gonna be essentially a TV display in our office. So not, you know, television type ads, but TV.
So it'll be
Yeah.
right out here and our sponsors and vendors will be on there.
Yeah. Any more question from Zoomerland?
Thank you all for coming.
Thanks. And Marcia will start contracts here in a few minutes. So
Great.
thank you, everyone. And send me your vendor people, please.
Did you already talk to Matthew Fox?
Who?
Matthew Fox.
Not yet, because I'm sending it out all on the same day to have them kind of jump on it.
Just
see if
but
it's
on your list.
Yes, no, I love him. He was the first one that I thought of. So, yes, let me know your people and we'll have Marcia in a momento.
Yeah, I texted him.
So do I need to, can I do a break from being live right now?
Yeah, so let me make you the host. So now you are the host, and so you should be able to hit share screen at the bottom.
And give what?
Push share screen at the bottom, or you want to be up here?
Oh, yeah,
You
I'm
want to
gonna
stay
just
there?
move my
Okay.
computer.
So then we'll can all set up on the screen.
Perfect. I went to a live event with Tony. I mean, where he's just spraying, he'd do like a spritz. Anyways, we didn't care. And then what he used to do is he used to do this, and then his watch, you know, the watches where you clip it like that. His watch, and I kept thinking,
It's gonna fall off.
it was gonna fall off, I was catching it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And if my best friend went for it, I'd be on top of her catching
Oh
it.
my.
That's probably why he changed his clap, so his watch didn't get all.
Oh my
Get all
gosh, that
messed
was
up.
so fun. And you know, during that time, I was in a really uncomfortable marriage. And so his book, his first or second book, or both of them, had so many things that helped me cope with that. And not focus on the negative, but focus on the positive. And I did a lot of training in those days. So I took a lot of what he said into my training class. And so I had one of my classes that was signed up for almost like a year in advance. And so it was on goal setting. And I still, as a matter of fact, I came across it yesterday. I still have a postcard. And it said, this is what it said: Marcia, thanks for the great class. Now, this was all Tony Robbins stuff that I was sharing and doing, you know, all that. And then it said, because of you, I've quit my job, I'm getting a divorce, I'm going back to school, and I've never been happier. And I looked at that yesterday and I
Oh,
thought,
that's
oh
cool.
my gosh.
Yeah.
So he is truly,
Mhm.
truly amazing. Okay,
So let me just move this so I can escape.
all right.
I'm not that skinny. No human should be that skinny.
So one of the things that Tony Robbins talked about was a paradigm shift. And how many of you think we are in the middle of a major universal paradigm shift? Yeah,
Mhm.
The silver tsunami is upon us.
it is so amazing. And of course now Russ is in our office all the time. And so he comes in and we get to hear a lot of his first variations of what he's thinking and talking about. And he was talking about, though his words are different, but mine is like a paradigm shift. And there are times in our life when we experience a paradigm shift. And right now, I think we really need to talk about it, because what are the beliefs that I have that are holding me back? And what can I do to change it? I was talking with somebody not very long ago, and they said, how is business? And I had just talked to Russ, and I said, fabulous. And they kind of looked at me, and they're not in our company. They looked at me and they just went, what? Are you in the same business I am? And I said, our team is so amazing, and we are just, it's just great. And they went, oh, okay. So one of the things that I think in a paradigm shift for us to be able to go through one is to be very positive. And if we focus on the negative, then what are we going to attract? The negative. If we focus on the positive, then what are we going to attract? I think that we are like a magnet. I really do believe the energy that we have and the excitement and all the things, the things that have happened in our Zoom Roundup meetings.
Oh, you're on mute. You should unmute so that people on Zoom can hear you.
Oh,
I had her unmuted.
well, let me just,
Oh, I thought it said mute. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it was just because you're. Well, let me
Make sure it's the right, it should be.
Ask.
Where is your mouse?
Can you guys hear Marcia?
huh?
Can you thumbs up for Marcia?
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
okay, good.
Okay, and it is on the, but good looking out.
Sorry, it said mute in the corner. I was like,
Oh, I can hear, I
Look
can,
at all,
yeah.
everybody engaging.
Nice.
Anyways, and if you need to like minus people, you can just go up here, go down right there, that little minus.
Oh, and do that so
Yeah,
that it doesn't show up on.
so that
top.
way, if you have stuff with a lot of verbiage, they can.
Yeah.
put it there.
So one of the things that I take and I like to think about every day is I like to think about what are the things in my life I'm most thankful for. And I have to tell you, I love my job. I love what I do, and I hope that people are never offended if I just point out what we recommend, because what I want is for everybody to be so successful and very professional. That's what I want. And so that's the intent with all of my emails and feedback and stuff like that. And I hope that that makes it very nice. Okay, so Tom and I were gone. We had a wonderful time over Christmas. My entire family got the Christmas virus. But 5 days prior to that, it was the first time my kids and grandkids and my brother and his oldest son's family all got together in over 12 years, maybe closer to 15. That was such a wonderful experience. And I really enjoyed that. And because we were gone almost 6 weeks, we spent 4 nights in a hotel. So we were with family and friends the whole time, and it was just a fabulous trip. And my wonderful husband really needed that. Okay, so the very first thing when I get back, and of course I tried to do all the contract review and compliance while I was gone, except for those 5 days. The very first thing when I got home and got after Tuesdays last week and everything, getting online, the very first thing I saw was our old pamphlet. And it had clients' initials, and the date was January 12th, 2024. I just want to remind everybody, delete that from your file and go in and do P1, and that's this document. No, it's not. Okay, so that's this document. This is a great document. If you haven't read it, you need to not memorize it, but really understand every single section has really great information on it. And so every listing needs to have one of these signed, and every sale needs to have a buyer's copy of this signed and initialed. And as you probably know, that is one of the required documents that we need. So it's now it's just 2 pages on both sides, makes a lot of sense, and it's a great tool. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm really seeing a lot of are counter offers. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Can I
Yes.
have a quick question on buyer brokerage agreement and their
Yes.
pamphlet? So I find often I'm only in contact with one of a
Mhm.
set of spouses,
Mhm.
and I don't, get involved with the other spouse until we're officially writing an offer. Is it fine to just have the one spouse on a buyer brokerage agreement and have this at the time I start working with them?
Are you talking, what form are you, you're not talking this form, you're talking like
The
a buyer
brokerage,
agreement?
Yes.
You need to have both signatures.
Can you do one and then do?
Yeah, like add it later.
Oh,
That's what I
sure.
have been doing is like, so I'm talking to, Adam and we, are looking at places, whatever. And then, okay, now we're gonna go under contract. I get in contact with Eve at that point and have her sign, her name on the old buyer agreement that I had signed over here when we write the offer. Is that fine?
The only time that I see a buyer agreement is when you open it up and you are doing a contract, so that would be fine.
Okay.
I don't ever look at the date to see if it's the
Okay.
same, but you
Yeah.
need to have both. Whoever's on the title, they need to be a part of that.
Buyer broker agreement. Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense. I just know like with that new,
I'm sorry, buyer
Guidelines.
broker agreement, yes.
yeah.
This is, yes, as long as we have that prior to you writing the offer.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Yes.
So I wanted to clarify on that because with the DOL and us needing to upload stuff within 48 hours of being signed, it
Mhm.
makes me think if I need to have that signed before I start doing like showings, then ideally agents should create an opportunity and upload those documents and submit them,
That's correct.
right? So you
Yes.
should, and
So-
that's probably something that needs to be.
So using your example, so I have a couple, Adam, I've been working with him and he's going to bring his wife in at the last minute. I go through the agreement and I
Mhm.
say, this is it. And then we are ready to start showing.
Mhm.
That's when you need to
Yeah.
have both signatures.
Mhm.
And so if the dates are different, that's, I don't think Department of Licensing is going to look at that. I would be really surprised.
Mhm.
But I don't see it until you create an opportunity and then you upload that document.
Okay, I'm just trying to think for training if, as
Yes,
soon as you have anything signed, they need to put it somewhere.
the preferred way is to get them both
Yeah,
at the same time and then it's
You're
done.
yeah, just create,
Yeah.
when they create an opportunity.
And then once you sign something, and I don't know if this pertains to the buyer brokerage agreement or not, but once you sign something,
Mhm.
then you should then be ready to create an opportunity.
That's
That
right.
would be your first document that you put up.
Okay, so yeah, I'll start clarifying that. for-
Okay.
for people, thanks.
Oh, good clarification. Any comments out there? And how do I get that?
So hover above where it says you are screen sharing,
The green in the middle.
Oh, in the green.
so in the chat, it would
It would
have red, but
yeah.
it doesn't have me.
Okay,
And
great.
if you wanted to see people, then you go to where it says talking, Marcia.
Uh-huh.
And then you do. Hover a little up a little bit more.
Oh,
or to the
above it?
left. In the box. What the heck? I'll scroll it down a little bit.
this,
Yeah, that should actually,
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not letting you open it back up to see people.
okay,
Well, I guess you might just not see faces today. You'll hear voices.
all right.
That doesn't-
Yes, so those of you that are in Zoom, please open up your mic and feel very comfortable just asking a question because I don't always see it. Okay, so then the next thing is, I have to say, in the last 10 days, we've had over 10 offers. Not all of them went mutual, but I went almost a week and a half with no new offers. So to me, that was really exciting. People are starting to think about it. The holidays are over. Most of us have our Christmas trees just packed away. I didn't even set mine up this year. Okay, so then, let me just talk legally about an offer. If you get an offer or you submit an offer and the seller agrees to it and there are no changes, that's a mutual contract. But the minute you go and you outline or change one thing, you need to use a Form 36. And there are two things about that that I just want to remind people of. I had a very experienced broker this week, we've been talking about it. She said, this is always confusing, line 3 and 4. And remember my analogy, if I'm writing a Valentine, which is appropriate right now, line 3 is who I'm sending it to. That's not who I represent. Line 4, it's from me or from my client. And so it is very important that we take a look at that. 80% of the counters that I see, not from us, but from outside, they will duplicate. So if it's a counter number 2, they just copy this part without changing it. Every time you change it, then you have to change line 3 and 4.
Because the undersigned needs to be whoever's.
That's right.
undersigned.
So if it's the seller, the undersigned, then on line 4, that's who the top signature is right here. And then I underlined this because once you submit a second counteroffer, nothing on that first counteroffer is brought forward. So all of the terms and conditions of the above offer are incorporated herein by reference as though fully set forth. So it's really important that you think, okay, I'm going to do a counter. What is it that we disagree with, or what is it we agree with? And then you bring it forward. And our format for that is quite easy. You reference the form number and the form name. So if I'm going to reference a residential PSA, then I reference form 21. Residential PSA, you can write out purchase and sale agreement if you want to. What is the page of? I most always do page 1, but if it's a 21, then it's page 1 of 6. Item number, whatever it is, if it's anything related to the buyer, that's number 2. Closing date, I believe, is still number 11. And so you want to reference the item number and what the name is. And this for escrow clearly defines what are the changes. Because once you start marking through your 20-page contract, it's a mess. And escrow, we're not helping them if we don't do it this way. Now, the last thing that I want to say is you are your own individual business owner. And when we review, not compliance, but when we review, then we can recommend. And one of our best practices is on a counteroffer to have the wording. If it's from the seller, so that would be counteroffer number 1, this counteroffer addendum takes precedent or supersedes any conflict or ambiguity in the original purchase and sale agreement body. So that's really important. If they counter back from the buyer, it's exactly the same, and it says the purchase and sale agreement body and seller counteroffer. So whatever you don't agree with, you don't pull forward. But if you're changing it, then you change the price or any of the terms. And that way, it just really keeps a very professional, very clean contract. We had an attorney, Mark Carroll, in our office yesterday, and I showed him a couple of examples. And he goes, do you know why? Because when we redline and we have some initials, but not all initials, there's ambiguity.
Mhm.
And attorneys love it. That's called cash in the bank.
Marcia, would you be able to email me or put something of like all of this preferred language? Because I'd like to be able to have a document on the website that says like recommended whatever for like what you want on form 7 or 22D in this form, and
Okay, I will do
So
that.
that way they can look,
Yes,
or yeah, we could work on the templates too that we have.
yeah.
But yeah, something in writing would be good so they have a spot to go to it before they.
So
Right.
when I go into my templates,
Mhm,
mine are all listing templates.
mhm.
Because that's all I do. I don't really work with buyers that often. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I don't work with buyers. So in my templates, like for land and condos and houses, when 36 comes up, then the seller counteroffer to the buyer is the first thing that's already in my template. And then if you do both, then put them both in there. You can eliminate one or the other, but that way you don't ever miss it again.
If anybody needs template training, let me know, because I don't know how many people use templates.
Yeah.
If you don't, yeah, because that'd make it.
What a
super
time
simple.
saver. Then you don't have to
Mhm.
go through,
Check
it
all
just
the
brings up
boxes.
all the documents that you possibly could use.
Mhm.
So, and like for one, it brings up, if you're representing a buyer, Tom's templates bring up, and there's a seller financing. Maybe he uses that once every 5, 6, 10 times. It doesn't matter. Then he all has to do is just choose which ones he wants and eliminate the rest. Good comments there. So this will be emailed as a part of today's notes. But I just wanted to go over that because we are dealing with a lot of brokers that have no clue, and they just copy what you give to them. And so just be aware of that and what's out there.
Would that stop a mutual? So if I countered with that appropriately, and then you as a broker didn't know and you just copied it the same and gave me back a new counter,
No, because it would be apparent that your client would be on the top line.
okay,
I don't, but it just isn't. Remember our standard? We're at the standard of an attorney.
yeah,
Would an attorney do that? No.
yeah.
We need to make sure
But
that's,
if they send it and we sign off on it, we have mutual.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question was, if you're representing the seller and a buyer offer comes in, you counter and they counter back and they have it wrong. No, I believe escrow can understand that that's there, but
We need to do it right.
yes.
Yeah.
And was it Seth, was it one of your one of your offers where it was like the second counter offer, but they didn't bring forward anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
so
happens very often.
when they sign that, and if I see if they put a red line through the one that they're marking out, then I will send a note and say, if this truly should be a part of this contract, then a Form 34, once you reach mutual, will then put those agreements back in it. And the other broker will have no problem with that. And it clarifies it for your client and for theirs. Great questions. All right. And of course, your client is going to sign on this line, and then right here, the above counter offer is accepted by. That's why line 3 and 4 is very important. I put this in here because I saw it a couple of times, and I get questions occasionally. What is the verbiage for if they're leaving stuff? And there are a couple of different places that you can put it. You can put it in the Form 22D, personal property, and there's a place there where you could write that in, or general addendum, and you reference Form 22D, page 1 of 2, item 4, personal property. Do you see how that's referenced there? Tom wrote that. Because a lot of times I only do like page 1, but page 1 of 2 really nails it. That's the form. And this is the wording. And then Russ sent this to us. So it depends on if you want to put this in that Form 22, the furnishings included in this transaction are being included in the sale strictly for the benefit of the seller and shall be given no monetary value. So this would also be one in your template Ashley for the website.
Great, thanks.
Mhm.
In something like that, would you want to get more specific as far as like what exactly is being left? Like,
If there are a lot of things, yes. And then Form 34 would be a good, these are the furnishings, what is the word on that? The furnishings included in this transaction are being, and we write that out and then list what is for sure being left.
Or,
Okay.
I've done it with like vacation rentals that are coming furnished, just, all furnishings as seen on X date that we saw the house.
Right.
For our showing, are included in the sale at no monetary value.
okay.
So one last thing on furnishings and listings. Please be very, very careful when you fill out a listing that you have, that you say to the seller, okay, so I'm assuming the washer and dryer included. Make sure they understand that, so that you're not misrepresenting the seller when it's about closing and you do a walkthrough and there's no washer and dryer. Who pays for that?
I paid for a lawnmower that way.
Yes. Yes. And so then that brings me to my next topic. We need to personally verify if they say there are 3 bedrooms and there's not a window for escape, or there's not a closet or an armoire to be one, that we can say, well, this is like a bonus room. And so by law, I have to say there are 2 bedrooms, 1 bonus room that has a bathroom, that kind of a thing to really clarify. Huh?
Like on the listing side, you would.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've got a buyer. So this is in the process of being resolved right now. At the time, this was all in-house. Listing said new appliances. These appliances, one of them had mold in them. They were 4, 5, 8 years old. So if you go through as a buyer and your people, and you really need to take a look, okay, according to this listing, these are the things that are going to be left, and check them, open them up. And if they say new, then you can just have a conversation with the listing broker and say, in your broker remarks, you say all new appliances. And these are old appliances. Is the seller replacing them or giving them credit? So our buyer in this deal that's fully under our umbrella, they went through, moved in, opened up the dishwasher, and that moldy smell came out. And then they went back and looked in their paperwork, and they remember their broker saying, yes, it says in my broker remarks, all new appliances. So they went out and they bought them, $6,700 worth. Guess what these new buyers want to be reimbursed for? As they should. So we need to be very careful about that. Square footage, appliances, the condition, the rooms that qualify. If it does not have a window, it is not a bedroom. We looked at one not very long ago, somebody in the office, and the 3rd bedroom was 35 feet long and 20 feet deep. But there was a sliding door, so they had that, but there was no built-in closet. So I just told they wanted to clarify, and I said, if there's not a closet or an armoire that can be a closet, you cannot classify that. And the other weird thing is it just went right off the master bedroom or the primary bedroom. All right. Now we're getting to things that I see all the time that are missed. 22D and K are for a listing broker. It's very easy to fill it out. And so you've got the seller, you've got the address, and you filled out these documents, but you don't know the purchase and sale date. You don't know who the buyer's names are. I see this, maybe about 2 or 3 times out of 10 deals where the buyer broker will download it and then they forget, they put it into their contract and they forget this. So we just need to be very aware of that. And then also the other place on a 22J that I see very often is that one or the other or both broker list signatures are missing. Now, remember, when you download this, you may or may not get a seller's signature and date. You might get it there. And then remember that you need it also on the lower right-hand side of both pages. Okay, and then the same thing is true with a 22K, because you don't know what the date of the offer is going to be. You don't know who the buyers are. Please make sure. And then once again, Department of Licensing will check that any identified utility, we need the street, address, city, state, and zip. All right. And let's see, and there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. And I had no idea what it was. Any questions out in Zoom land? Any questions here? All right. If there's anything that you have a question on, if you would please text me or call me, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can, but I need to know that you are having. And remember, under 2 years, if you're not on a team, there needs to be somebody in the office review your offer before it goes to your client, not before it goes to the other broker. And we're really good about that. We have a new batch of people that are graduating soon.
Well, you can't say that specifically because they go on their own time frame. I mean, they're in the system and they're in the classes, but will they graduate? Will they? It's
Okay, so we have new
there are
people.
people we're putting into the system that we're hoping will come out of the system. Yeah.
Really good. Okay. And oh, I know what it was. The last thing, if you know something is wrong, check your hotline questions. They're really categories, wonderful. So that if you know the other broker has done something that's not right, you can just say, I have issues with this all the time, but this is what Annie says, or this is what was in the hotline question, and use that as a tool to help educate the other broker. We are in a wonderful environment, and by doing that, being polite about it, being very, I didn't know if you knew this or not, so that we're not condescending, so that we're not the attitude. I think everybody has dealt with that before. Oh, we have one chat. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna cut it off unless there's anything else.
Thank you, Marcia.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks, Marcia.
Welcome. All right. Oh, bye out there.